Hi, I'm Mindy from Cute Girls Hairstyles, and today we're going to demo the crown braid, or what some people call the milkmaid braid. So what you're going to do is start by just brushing a little bit, all of the hair away from the face so that there's no obvious part lines falling into the hair. Now you can do it on dry or wet hair. I'm going to just spritz it just ever so slightly through the top, just so it controls her flyaways a little bit for me. Okay, and when you get that done, I'm going to start by braiding under her left ear. This is probably the most unsightly part of the braid, and I want it hidden. So I'm going to stick it right behind her ear where it's less noticeable. So I'm going to gather up a chunk of hair and separate it into my 3 sections and go ahead and start my outie French braid, or some people call it the Dutch French braid. Okay, now when I'm picking up hair, you can see where my hairline is landing where I've pulled up hair. I'm going to pull new hair sections as close to that as humanly possible, and you'll see in a second why that's so important. And then of course in the front, you're just going to try to keep the braid as close to her forehead as possible. So we continue to braid, picking up hair pieces as we go along. And I'm just going to try to keep that right next to her forehead. Okay. Now, what I see people doing a lot on this braid is they'll pull their hair back into like a ponytail and then pull the hair strands from the ponytail, which works just fine. But what you end up with at the end is a kind of a bubble in the back of their head where you can see the ponytail sticking out, the elastic. And I don't love that. So by keeping the hair strands right next to the braid, what's going to happen is all of this hair is going to pull down back over the back of her hair, and it's going to look really pretty. And I'll show you again in just a minute what I'm talking about. One of the hardest things about this braid is just keeping it so you don't have really obvious part lines anywhere in the hair. So by braiding it the way we are, it prevents that from happening. Okay, so turn your head this way a little bit. Now what you can see is that from the back we have very smooth, nice hair. And when we braid that down at the back of her neck like this, we're not going to have any obvious part lines or ponytail elastic sticking out in the back. And we've prevented that from happening by just braiding really close to her head, the front part line. Sorry. Okay. I hope that made sense to everybody. Now as we're going along and we're continuing to pull hair sections in, again, just keeping the braid as close to her ears and now at the nape of her neck as possible. Sorry. What you can see happening is that we get very nice, natural hair foliage, if that's even a word. Okay, turn this way. Continue to just braid all the way around. Turn your body for me. Thank you. So we're not cranking your neck here. And this hairdo you can do on yourself. You have to be a pretty good braider, but it is possible. Lots of people do it. Okay, and pick up that last strand. Okay, now, right here, here's another trick spot on this hairdo. What happens if this is loose and you pull the braid up against the head, you're going to have hair popping out right there. So you just want to make sure that on that last section, when you pull the hair in, you pull like kind of extra tight against the head, so that when you tighten the braid up and you pull it up against the head, it's going to lay flat. And if for some reason you still get a little hair popping out, have no fear. The magic of bobby pins is amazing. So we'll just fix it. You have the rubber band ready, babe? Whoop. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to use a clear elastic at the bottom. It's little, and then it will also blend into the hair better. Okay, so can you see how right here mine's just a smidge loose? So I'm just getting a tiny bubble. That's okay. We'll fix that with a bobby pin. You're going to take the hair and wrap it. And then what I try to do is tuck the elastic under one of those little braid bumps. And then just take a bobby pin and kind of bobby pin that over the top of that elastic. Then take the ends and do the same thing. Tip your head back just a smidge so Daddy can get a better shot. Okay, tuck, tuck, tuck. Pull that little braid over and then just run a bobby pin right in there so that you've got that nice and hidden. Now, I'm also going to just take one bobby pin and just tug that one down a little bit more. Okay, now I like to go back and tug on the edges of the braid, especially up here in front. This is going to loosen the braid a little bit. It's going to give it a little extra dynamic look. It will make your hair look fuller than it actually is if you have thin hair. And it just kind of pops out the braid a little bit more. So anywhere you just want a little pop, just give it a tug. And there you go. You have a beautiful crown braid with smooth in the back, and what this turns into the next day is beautiful waves, so you can just take it and brush it out and have lovely second day waves. And there you go.
Bye.